Emotional waves. I've noticed that dogs will try and try to lead me to that peak, and once there, will try their best to push me over it, provoking me to create an outburst with enough credibility to act aggressively, using insults or just noise to be able to fulfill their objective. Like emotional waves, like I believe that the enemy has tactics and has, how would you say it, has methods on how to create an emotional wave, on how to create, you know, how to get you emotionally attached to noise, to insults, you know, that they observe and that they're consistent, you know, to be able to create an outburst, you know, that's what they dedicate themselves to doing, you know, and that I believe that, how would you say it, that if you're just to pay attention to these aspects, to these methods, to to their tactics, if you're to pay attention to all of that, you know that you can easily control, you know, your emotional state, you know, to not get emotionally attached to somebody that's insulting you. Like, why does a person react negative to an insult? Why? You know, why? What gives this, how would you say it, this what creates this outburst of negativity? An insult? Like you're gonna react negative toward an insult by some ignorant individual? Like why? Why? Why would a positive person, a Christian, react in that manner? Why? Because, you know, there's emotional waves. There's an emotional waves. Like if you feel yourself building up, if you feel yourself getting mad, you know, there's a reason. You know, there's a reason. There could be a vibration, a machine that's designed to create, to to start that emotional outburst. But the state of mind, if you're just to focus, like sometimes I feel myself getting mad, but I know I'm not mad. You know, I know I'm not mad, but I feel myself like my body, you know, getting mad, you know, shaking, you know, and I say to myself, what is it? What is this? What is it? Why is it that my body is getting mad? Why is it that I'm like starting to shake? Why? I feel like it's a machine, or I feel like it has something with the I feel, I honestly feel it has to do with the spiritual realm, because I've analyzed, you know, how I'm getting mad, how my chest is like, you know, starting to react in a negative manner. But my mind, I say to myself, you know, that's happened time and again, you know, numerous times, you know. And so I tell myself I'm getting mad. You know, I acknowledge that I'm getting mad, but it's mostly my body that's reacting, that's building up, where I'm breathing and I'm getting agitated. And, you know, what is it? You know, they're tactics. I believe that it has to do with the spiritual realm where, you know, there's something, some negative force that's creating, that negative outburst, that's creating that negative reaction, you know, and that negativity that starts slowly and builds up little by little, you could acknowledge it. You could acknowledge it, and you know what? You could say, you know what? I'm getting mad. You know what? I'm about to say something that I'm gonna regret. You know, and so I believe that there's emotional waves. You know, there's negative emotional waves that exist. That if you're to think about it, the enemy, that's what they do. The enemy does that. They focus on that. That's what they dedicate themselves to. That they have tactics, methods on how they do this.